Good morning, everybody. I just want to take a minute and kind of add on to my first video that I made last week on my introduction. I wanted to give you kind of an insight as to how I came to want to start this series and be where I'm at today. Um, First of all, I'm 59 years old. Be 60 in January. I came out of high school in 1985. Went straight into the Marine Corps. Um, went when I got into the Marine Corps. I could barely run from the front porch to the curb. I came out of boot camp running a 6 minute mile. So I started learning about fitness and things like that in the Marine Corps. I went overseas a couple years later, spent 6 months on an aircraft carrier, working out 5, 6 days a week, studying martial arts while I was there. So I came off an aircraft carrier in early 1980. What was it? 1988. In really good shape, to say the least. But I still hadn't gotten into fitness. Got married after I got out of the Marine Corps. Got divorced a couple years later. Ended up working at a local gym part-time, just for S&G. Started working out again. Learned a lot. Became a trainer. Was trying to buy the gym at the time. It didn't work out, obviously. But just to say the least, I mean, I got into fitness. So I learned a lot about fitness and training and stuff like that. Well, a couple years later, I got away from training. I didn't train for a good 15 years. And then, God, what's it been? 18 years ago, 17 years ago, give or take. I got diagnosed with diabetes. During the few years prior to that, I was a sales rep. So I went from 225 to damn near 300 pounds. Got diagnosed with diabetes. My A1C was 11, 12, somewhere up around there. It was horrible. And, I did what the doctors told me to do. Here, take metformin. Here, take this medication and that medication, and everything will be good. Well, here I am, a few years later, steady fighting. My A1C was still high. I didn't like where it was going. I don't like taking medications unless I absolutely have to. I fought with my doctors. My blood pressure has always been good. My blood pressure averages like 117/75 consistently. Yet my doctors wanted to put me on blood pressure medication and cholesterol meds. Well, I fought with them and I was like, no, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, fought with them for years over it. Well, then my stepfather passed away in 2013. And then during COVID lockdowns, my mother's health started deteriorating. She had a couple strokes. I started taking over her care. And I got to a point where I was looking at her medications, and she was on 18 different medications 3 times a day. And it all started with blood pressure and cholesterol meds. And same deal. My mother had never had issues with blood pressure. Well, so the more I did a deep dive into her medications, and then I started looking at my medications, and she passed. It'll be 3 years ago this coming September, from a multitude of problems. Well, the more I started diving into her medications, it got to a point where I've come to the realization that, and my own gut feeling is that the medical community in general, and again, these are my opinions, nobody else's, the medical community as a whole has become, particularly doctors, have become more legal drug dealers than they are about actual practicing medicine. So, come, let's push forward a little bit to this past October. Um, I ended up in the hospital with uh, appendicitis, emergency surgery, and then I decided, you know what, enough's enough. I need to do something. So I got back into the gym. I've gotten off of every piece of medication, minus, well, let me back up a little further. A little over 2 years ago, they started me on Ozempic, which, again, great product for what it is. But as I've dove into some of the side effects and things of that, come to find out the side effects are there, but you just have to really manage what you're doing. So again, here I am now. I'm still on. They switched me over to Zepbound last year. I like the Zepbound, but again, the side effects are there, and I'm doing my damnedest to try and come off of those now. But again, it's just kind of, again, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have any medical training, but I feel like I've got a little more common sense than some people I know, or a lot of people that I've met. And if this offends you, I apologize, but it is what it is. So it just gives you a little bit more as to my background and why I decided to start this page, because I'm going to dive into a lot of different things. Some of the side effects of my GLP-1s, some of the training that I'm doing to try and prep for my first bodybuilding show next year, trying to get myself healthy going into my 60s, trying to get my daughter healthy as she goes into her late teens, and trying to get my wife healthy. She has her own medical issues, and she's on a handful of pills a couple times a day. Same deal. So, and she's had multiple surgeries. She's, medically, she's a bit of a train wreck, but we're going to try and get that fixed. I hope this gives you a little better understanding as to why I'm doing this. And until next time, be kind. Be nice to everybody. As many as you can, anyway. And have a great day.